Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is Tarot by Melissa, and today's video is going to be looking into your January 2023 general outlook. So what I'm going to be doing in this reading is taking a look at your month ahead, really tapping into the energies, events, situations of significance that are being highlighted for you. So let's go ahead and get into some disclaimers. First and foremost, this is a general reading, so not every message may specifically resonate with you and your situation. Some messages will resonate, some might not. So as I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Please don't allow it to get you upset or take it personally if something in a general YouTube reading isn't super specifically resonant to your particular situation. If you did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can do so will be linked in the description box down below. Personal readings are always a great way to get a much more specific and accurate read on your own personal situation. Also, keep in mind, guys, with us looking at the month ahead and focusing more on future and what's coming through in the future for you in the month of January, keep in mind that future is not set in stone because energy is always shifting and changing. So never feel stuck or tied to anything that a tarot reading is saying because you have the free will to make your own choices, decisions, to react to things differently, and thus create a whole entirely different outcome and future for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. We are working with 3 groups today. Starting here with group number 1, we have some Sodalite. For group 2, we have some Citrine. And for group number 3, we have some Rose Quartz. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about your month ahead. Go ahead and select the pile or crystal you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, scroll down to the description box to locate the timestamp that will take you to your pile selection. See you there. Hey Pile 1, if you guys picked out this Sodalite crystal, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to be looking into what is ahead for you this month in the month of January. So I'm going to start with some pre-shuffled tarot cards, and then we'll get right into some more oracles, all shuffled on camera. So starting off your month this month, we have 3 of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Chariot, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Okay. Pile 1. So I kind of feel like as you guys are coming into the month of January, there's some sort of tough energy that is sort of kicking off your month, for lack of a better phrase. You know, 3 of Swords is saying that there's been some sort of maybe like difficult situation that you guys have been dealing with. 3 of Swords can talk about like heartbreak energy. It can talk about sadness. It can talk about pain. It can talk about healing from that pain. There's a lot of different meanings for it, but I'm really drawn in this Knight of Wands to the broken wand. Okay. So this is making me feel like for some of you guys, this pain that you are experiencing or this frustration energy that you're experiencing, it feels to me like it's more frustration based off of some sort of like impulsive decision that you've made or some impulsive action that you have taken has potentially caused this pain, is what I'm feeling for many of you who chose pile number 1. The Knight of Wands is the energy of inspired action, right? This is when we are feeling really confident, really excited about something, and we're going after it full force. And I do see you guys picking up with this as the month progresses. But Knight of Wands also kind of it can come with a message of advice to make sure that you are really thinking things through and have a plan and don't just recklessly channel your passion. Because sometimes when we are so excited and we just kind of impulsively jump right into something, we can overlook really important things. And I feel like that's kind of this 3 of Swords, Knight of Wands combo that I'm reading for you guys. It's like this energy of a lesson learned based off of a mistake that you've made from being a little bit impulsive with something in your life. And so what I feel is there's this energy of kind of pondering, reflecting on whatever this heartbreak energy is, and then channeling your energy forward in a more productive way, in a more thoughtful way, in a way that's more like well thought out and well planned out, really thinking about the future. Because the Chariot card is sort of when we are laser focused on a goal, we're really thinking about how we want to win or what winning looks like to us, right? So you are thinking about what your goal is and how you want to channel your passionate energy and doing it in a way that is more focused on long-term success. And the beautiful thing about this Chariot is that, you know, Chariot is when we are super focused. We are not in impulsive energy anymore. We have learned the lesson. We are being a little bit more, I don't know if careful is the word, but it's this energy of knowing exactly what you need to do in order to achieve the goal. And I think that you guys have and will be, as the month progresses, you know, really looking at your circumstances from a bird's eye view here, looking at the big picture, seeing every choice and decision that you make from a higher perspective. And I'm feeling like making choices and taking action based in wisdom from learning your lessons. Some of you guys, I think, may also be traveling in the month of January as well with the Chariot. There could be air travel involved here, something that's really exciting for you. But for others of you, this is about your goals. And ending off the month here with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, Wheel of Fortune is also kind of about really good luck. It's about kind of taking chances in a sense. So maybe for some of you, there's this energy of taking a chance on something that you're feeling really passionately about, but needing to kind of learn the lesson on how to channel your passionate energy in a more responsible way. I feel like some of you guys, this is such a cool version of this card because this is really talking about kind of like this uncertainty of what we're going to get, right? This is every flavor beans from Harry Potter. And so any of you guys that are familiar with Harry Potter know that this particular candy, you don't know what the flavor of the thing is, of the bean is, until you taste it, right? So there's definitely this energy of kind of like taking a risk or taking chances coming through as well for some of you guys this month. And yeah, let's see. It's sort of like this vibe of, you know, healing from something, but also learning a lesson from previous mistakes and kind of channeling energy in a more responsible and wise way. So what else is happening in January for pile number 1? We have the 6th house. Sustainability. Isn't that interesting? Definitely the opposite of being impulsive. What else is happening for pile 1 this month? Pluto, rebirth. And then we have the square, semi-square, quincunx. Okay. So I definitely feel like you guys are in this place. Like this 3 of Swords energy to me is all about kind of like, again, it's learning this lesson about, being too impulsive or maybe like doing something that's, you know, feels really good in the moment but isn't ultimately sustainable for your long-term well-being. The 6th house, this can talk about like our health, our wellness, mental, physical, spiritual. The 6th house also talks about our routines and kind of like what our day-to-day routine looks like, what our day-to-day work looks like. So any of these themes with this 3 of Swords could be what you are learning a lesson about and maybe looking to transform this month ahead. Pluto is huge because this is definitely talking about, you know, a deep transformation that's happening in your life this month. Pluto energy can be a little bit intense as well, which could be why there is this energy of 3 of Swords here because, you know, in order for us to have a rebirth, we have to allow old energies to die off. Pluto energy is very much like death and rebirth, being able to let go of something so that we can welcome in the new. And, you know, Pluto energy is about, it's not about impulsivity, right? It's about getting to the root cause of whatever the problem is, getting to the root cause of whatever is bothering us, and really understanding it on a deep spiritual level so that we're able to make the necessary change that is sustainable versus just putting a Band-Aid over something, right? So I definitely see you guys, especially mid-January, really focusing in on, okay, like we had this little boo-boo, we had a hiccup here. So now how do I see this from a wiser perspective and make the necessary changes that I need in order to be happy? I don't know why happy came to my mind. Maybe because Three of Swords is indicating potentially a period of sadness or disappointment as you guys enter this month. So I do feel like a lot of this is about your happiness and wanting to be able to live in a way that feels passionate for you or do things that feel passionate to you. I do feel with this square, semi-square quincunx that there are still some difficulties or maybe competing priorities for some of you. You know, this energy of the square, semi-square quincunx, it specifically talks about tensions. So this can be points, you know, in a birth chart where we are experiencing opposing energies or competing energies. I feel like for some of you, there could be something that you're really wanting to transform with your life. And for some reason, maybe it's not completely fitting into your day-to-day that you do. Maybe this is about like your day-to-day work and how do I like my day-to-day work, but also be able to do my passions as well. So like directly competing priorities here. And it may also be hard for some of you guys, like especially if you're coming into this month really craving this sustainability, really craving like literal stability in your life, needing stability. Wheel of Fortune energy can feel very up and down, right? Because you never know what you're going to get with the Wheel of Fortune, especially with this depiction, right? It's like taking a chance by grabbing one of these beans and hoping that it's going to be one that tastes really good to you. But there's also that risk that it might not be good for you or taste good to you. You know what I mean? So I do feel that there's this competing energy of like wanting stability, but also wanting excitement, wanting stability, but also wanting to have fun, wanting stability, but then also wanting to like be able to do what you're passionate about as well. So I feel that you guys are going to be learning this month really how to balance out these energies. But it feels like with Pluto that you guys are really desiring some really major transformation in your life, specifically around health, you know, wellness, your daily routines, your daily work, things like that. So let's see. Could be too, you guys are moving for some of you. I could see that being the case because that would definitely prompt a pretty major transformation. So what else for pile number 1 in the month of January? We have heart chakra. Makes sense with that 3 of Swords. Let's grab one more. We also have Angel of Balance. Yes, balance for sure. And you guys have the Healer of the Ages at the bottom. So definitely an undertone of healing specifically this month. Makes a lot of sense again with that 3 of Swords, that kind of heartbreak, sadness energy that's here. But yeah, I definitely feel that with the heart chakra being activated here, there's definitely been a situation that's been causing you guys a lot of heartache or a lot of pain or stress in your life. And, you know, I feel like this whole month is just about wanting to activate this heart again, really wanting to make sure that you are living a life or doing things or connecting with other people who feel like they're in alignment with you on a heart level, on a soul level, on a deep spiritual level. Yeah. And I think for some of you, like for instance, if this is about like a breakup or an ending of some sort to your, like it feels like there's an ending to something that's been in your daily life for a long time. So it would make a lot of sense for Pluto to be here because Pluto is super transformative. It is going to help you with getting to the root cause of what needs to be healed so that you can be able to transmute that energy. And ending of the month here, there is this energy of balance, right? So again, I think this is where this conflict is coming in. It's like you guys have a lot of passionate energy, a lot of goal-driven energy showing up here, especially mid-month for you. And I do see this vibe with the Wheel of Fortune of like wanting to take a chance or putting yourself out there to take risks. But I also think that balance is going to be super important to you guys as you are navigating the month ahead. Really listening to your intuition, making sure that you're not feeling tension. And I think the second that you are feeling tension, that's a sign that there needs to be balance brought back into the picture here. Looking at the bigger picture of what you're doing. versus just impulsively go, go, go. Oops. Let's see what else. We're going to just close it out with a few more of these little cards for you, pile number 1. Okay, what else for pile 1? What do they need to know about the upcoming month of January? We have fakeness. Yeah, there's something about like inauthenticity, like 3 of Swords. Like you guys, I feel like that could be what that 3 of Swords is about. And maybe there's this realization that you're not living a life, or there's something about your routine that's not authentic, that doesn't feel sustainable to you. Let's see what else. This could even be about a person too that's not feeling authentic in your life. We have high importance. Yeah, it's like there's this shift to focusing on the big picture, this shift to focusing on your happiness and what are the most important things when you zoom the lens out and really look at the big picture of your life. And we have no plans. Interesting energy. I think that kind of really ties in well with this Angel of Balance. Like I could see like toward the ending of the month, there's this this energy of the Wheel of Fortune is so interesting because it's like this feels like an energy that's coming in and wanting you to take a chance or wanting you to take a risk, and you guys might actually turn it down and say no because you're wanting more balance. And this could be where some of this tense energy is coming through, because maybe somebody else is wanting you to take this chance, or something else in your life is needing you to take this chance or take this risk. But I feel like you guys are kind of, especially as you round out the end of the month of January, there's this striving for balance and relieving of tensions here. So pile 1, this is definitely a very intriguing energy for the first amazing month of 2023. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments how you feel it resonates with you and your situation. So drop me a comment below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you will be updated when I upload the next video, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hey pile 2, if you guys picked out this citrine crystal, this is going to be your reading for the month of January. So let's go ahead and start with your tarot cards and see what is ahead for you. So you guys start off here with the Ace of Wands. Ooh, we have the Star, the 6 of Wands, and the 3 of Cups. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing, pile number 2. Super abundant energy. It makes a lot of sense with that citrine. I feel like this group is really focusing in on happiness and abundance and fun and joy and well-being this month. A lot of different things coming through with that crystal that you chose. But let's go ahead and start here. So beginning of the month of January, I feel you guys are going into this month really understanding your power, really understanding the potential that you hold, right? And I think really maybe having some sort of inspired thought or some sort of inspired idea, a creative idea, and kind of knowing that you have this creative idea that you want to act on, but maybe figuring out how you want to channel this creativity before you channel it. In this Ace of Wands card, this is a Harry Potter themed deck. So this is the Elder Wand, right? So this is like the most powerful wand that was ever made, okay? And so I say all that to say, you guys, I think, realize that you hold a lot more power than you realize that you do over your life and the choices and decisions that you make, okay? And so with power does come responsibility. And so I feel like there may be something around that theme that is significant to some of you, where it's like, you know that you have this amazing idea, you know you have this excited energy within, but you want to make sure that you are channeling it responsibly and sustainably. I feel like a lot of you guys here with the Star, you may have a lot of eyes on you. You may have an audience, I feel, watching you. You may have a lot of people who support you and who also are empowering you during this time and might be really interested in whatever this idea is that you are nurturing and creating for yourselves. I also feel like whatever this idea is something that's going to be incredibly healing for a lot of you guys with the star energy here. The star is all about healing. It is all about inspiration. It's about hope. It's about like being hopeful and excited for the future and what the future holds. This particular depiction of the star is, of course, in the movie where right after Professor Dumbledore passes away and everybody's kind of like lifting their wands in solidarity, you know? And it was such a powerful moment of like driving out the darkness, you know, and showing that support, you know what I mean? And so I don't think that that's a coincidence. I feel like the star card is here to tell you guys that you actually have a lot more support than you realize. And so I'm just guided to say, like, I don't know why I'm channeling a little bit of emotion here for some of you. Like, I felt like I just wanted to cry, but I feel like if you guys have been going through a tough time or kind of doubting yourself as you've been coming to this reading, I feel like you need to look to your support because you actually have a lot more admirers than you realize, okay? As the month goes on, I do feel with the Six of Wands, there's this energy of empowerment, taking the lead, again, being in the spotlight. Lots of spotlight energy here with the Star and the Six of Wands. So there's this energy of being in the spotlight and maybe taking the lead, having a lot of eyes on you. Again, with the Three of Cups, this is an energy of community and people around us. But I feel like as the month rounds out, you guys are going to be feeling really good about where you are with your life, feeling really good about where you stand with this Ace of Wands energy, this creative idea, this exciting idea that you had. And I do feel that you're going to be able to notice the right types of people around you as you do this. Three of Cups could also be talking about spending a little bit more time with your friends, having more fun in your life. You guys definitely with the Wands have a lot of really fun energy popping up here for you. This could also, for some of you guys, indicate a reconciliation with someone toward the ending of this month as well. Someone from the past, potentially. So let's see. I want to pull some Astro cards for you guys next and see what else is coming through for you. So what else does Pile 2 need to know about their upcoming month ahead? What else should Pile 2 know about the month of January? So we have Aquarius, collaborate. That makes so much sense with all the people that I'm seeing around you guys. Let's see what else for Pile 2 in January. Imam Quelly. Okay. I don't know if that wanted to come out or not. I'm gonna put it back in. Let's see. If it's meant to come back out, it will. It did. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Okay. This 10th house is at the bottom of the deck, so this could be career-oriented for some of you guys or something to do with your public image. Again, we're getting a lot of energy of being in the spotlight, so I definitely could see that being the case. Okay, so let's take a look at these Astro cards that came through. So starting off with the Aquarius energy, this makes so much sense with kind of talking about the star is Aquarius energy too, I just realized. But like how we were talking about power and responsibility and kind of like knowing how to channel your power wisely, I do feel that this is because there are a lot of eyes on you or a lot of people. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a lot, you know, like in this card, it looks like you guys have a lot of admirers watching you, but it may just be that you have like kids that are watching you or like, you know, significant people that are important to you are watching everything that you do. And so I do feel there is this energy of being very logical and thoughtful about what you're doing and why. Also, you know, Dumbledore is he's an elderly, really wise, you know, experienced wizard. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of have this more kind of restrained power popping up here at the beginning of your month. You guys may also be finding yourselves collaborating, like literally collaborating on this creative idea with other people. But, you know, Aquarian energy is going to be thinking about what's right for the collective. Also kind of weird that Dumbledore is here. I don't know if anyone here is a Harry Potter fan, but I won't get too into that nerdiness of it. But like, it is really about like the greater good in a sense. Like it's about like making choices and decisions and doing this creative thing in a way that's going to help the collective versus something that's just going to help yourself. Okay, it's thinking about everybody that's involved and what's really the best thing. I think too with this Imam Quelli, so like this to me with it talking about root, you guys may also with the star, this healing reflective energy, you guys may also be really focused on root causes of things this month, like looking deeper into a situation. This can also be talking about, like for me, laying down roots for something that you're working on. So maybe this creative idea, this audience or these people, like something about this thing you're creating, maybe it's actually taking root this month. Maybe you're actually building a foundation for it. Maybe you're treating it as something that's more permanent in your life. So for instance, if you guys are, let's say, like running a business or something like that based off of a creative idea, maybe this is a month where we're going to actually take the lead on like registering your business, you know, getting like the muggle side of things, the practical side of things, like situated so that there's that sense of permanency. It's like taking the side hustle to the next level in a sense for some. For others of you though, this Imam Quelli I feel is talking a little bit about like I'm almost wondering if there are like family influences here for some of you guys with this card popping up. And maybe there's this energy of needing to kind of rise above what the family thinks or rise above sort of like what your root or upbringing, like programming was around your situation. Maybe even doing some reflection around how your childhood and the way that you were brought up is sort of, influencing this month ahead and the goals that you have and the creative idea that you're wanting to act on, right? And that could be how it's influencing it for good or for bad. But I think awareness to like deeper root causes is going to be really important for some of you guys this month, especially with that star card kind of talking about healing. And with the first house, there's celebration here, I feel, at the end of the month around like, you know, understanding who you are. First house, arrival, like understanding who you are, understanding how you want to present yourselves to the world, how you want to present this creative idea to the world. Feeling like you're living and doing something that's very authentic to who you are. It's also like the first house. It's like the first stop on the zodiac, right? So it's like, it does feel for a lot of you guys, it feels oddly specific, but like it does feel for a lot of you guys that this could be related to like a creative endeavor turned to a business, right? And like maybe this is the month that it's launching for the first time, like as an official business, perhaps, you know? But if that's not the case, I do feel that this is about you guys, you know, defining and aligning with who it is that you really want to be in your life, following your passions. So let's see what else is coming through for you guys this month for pile number 1. Okay. So we do have blossoming abundance coming up. That's beautiful. Let's grab one more for pile 1. We have all tied up. Interesting. That I feel like that makes so much sense with this Imam Quelli here. Because I don't know why I was feeling for some of you that like something about your roots is holding you back a little bit here. And I do feel like a part of this month is about kind of breaking away from this root energy in a sense and not allowing this to hold you back from being who you truly are and showing up and doing things the way that you want to do them. Okay. It could be friends. It could be other people. It could just be like programming from childhood. But there's definitely something here that is holding you up or tying you up or making you feel restrained or restricted in some way that is needing to be released because you guys are like blossoming abundance. This is like blessings all around. Like I do feel like whatever this Ace of Wands is for you, this is bringing in so much. You guys picked the Citrine. It's bringing in so much abundance and happiness and joy into your life when you're able to finally channel this energy and be who you authentically are. Sometimes too with like Aquarius energy, you know, Aquarian energy can be a little bit of a detached energy. It's not a super heart lovey-dovey kind of energy. It's much more heady. You know what I mean? It's more thinking. It's more mental. And I say all that to say, like, there might be a tendency to overthink things here as well. Instead of just doing what feels aligned with your heart, you know? So that could be a potential challenge popping up for some of you with Aquarius here. But let's see pile number 2. I want to pull just a few more of these little cards for you just to kind of see what else is coming through for this month. So closing it out for pile 2. What else does pile 2 need to know about their month ahead? We have therapy needed. That makes sense with that Imam Quelli. Let's see what else. Kind of digging deeper, understanding the spiritual lesson behind things, understanding why things are the way they are, why you are the way you are in a certain instance. Let's see what else. Oop, okay. We also have trauma coming up here, so healing big time. There's something that you guys are really getting to the root cause of this month that I feel is going to really, really help you to release what is holding you back from just like achieving and receiving all of your blessings. Let's see. We have more and more. I wonder if it's something to do with like with more and more coming out. I mean, I feel like it's a sign that there's more and more blessings to be received, but I also wonder if there's something about like being asked to do more or being asked to do more and more. Like there's something about you maybe giving and giving and giving that is rooted in something that's impacting you in an unhealthy way right now. And that's going to be different for everybody, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that card. But overall, pile 2, this looks like a really abundant and exciting month for you. So I would love to hear from you in the comments what's been going on and how you feel like this energy is resonant with your situation. So please drop me a comment and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so that you will be updated when I upload the next video, and I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you guys picked out this rose quartz, this is going to be your reading for the month of January. So we're going to begin with your tarot cards, and then we'll get into some additional oracle cards shuffled on camera. All right, so starting off, we have a King of Cups. We have a 10 of Wands, a 7 of Swords, and a 6 of Swords. Okay. Lots of air energy popping up in your reading, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So lots of mental energy being exerted this month. Okay. So starting off the month here with this King of Cups, I feel like you guys are in a place where you're trying to understand something a little bit better in your life. I feel like you guys are maybe feeling a little bit overworked or burdened about something in your life with the 10 of Wands being right next to it. And I feel this energy of really looking for answers. Specifically with the King of Cups, you know, this is going to be about your feelings. So maybe some of you guys are feeling like something's a little bit off, or maybe you're not feeling emotionally connected to whatever the thing is that's making you feel overworked, which I think makes a lot of sense because, you know, when you're doing work that you love or when you're exerting yourself in a way that you love, it doesn't tend to feel like you're being overworked. It tends to feel like you're not working, right? So, or that you're not exerting, because this may not have to do with work, but it's like this energy with this King of Cups of reading the tea leaves or getting a tarot reading or doing astrology readings. Like there's this vibe of just really looking for the answers around like why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And if we do reflect on this card a little bit more, you know, this is, you know, where in Harry Potter, they keep seeing the Grim in the tea leaves, right? Which is this indication of death. And if we know in the tarot, you guys, death actually doesn't necessarily mean literal dying. It's a metaphor for change and transition. So I do feel that this feeling that you're having about being overworked could be indicative of a change or transition that's needed in your life. Could also be indicative of a change or transition that you're going through in your life and maybe having a hard time adapting to things. I also feel that there's this energy potentially for some of you of thinking the worst with what you're experiencing, right? Because, ultimately in the movie and the books, like the Grimm was just kind of like a superstition, you know what I mean? And if you are feeding into the superstition and really believing in it, then you're going to have that fear activated when you see it in the tea leaves, right? But if you don't allow it to have that power over you, then you're not going to be afraid of it. You're, like in the book, there were certain people that thought the Grimm was stupid whenever it was predicted. And they were like, whatever, that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So I think that there is this energy of just making sure that you're not allowing whatever you're feeling, whatever change it is that you're going through, whatever you're seeing predicted out for you to like rule your life in a negative way, right? It's kind of like choosing to be in your own power over the situation and not letting the situation or the prediction to have power over you. I do see here with the Seven of Swords, there is this energy of kind of moving away from the burden, like really doing what you need to do in order to release the burden and going about it in a way that's a little bit more self-serving or maybe even like undercover with the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords can be like about getting out of something, getting out of things that are making us feel overworked or overburdened, and being kind of strategic about it. It gets a bad reputation for being a negative card, but sometimes it's necessary to be in Seven of Swords energy to, really move in silence and do what feels good to you, because only you know what feels good to you. And sometimes when you're letting everybody know what you're doing, then you run the risk of other people's opinions impacting you and thus adding to the burden that you're already feeling. So I do see you guys kind of getting a little strategic in order to mitigate some of this burden that you're feeling, mitigate some of this extra effort or work that you've been dealing with here, and then ultimately moving forward into calmer waters at the end of the month of January, transitioning into something different, moving away from the thing that's causing friction in your life, whatever this is, and things feeling much more calm and tranquil for you, much more at peace, okay? So let's take a look at some astrology cards for you guys. So what else does pile number 3 need to know about their month of January? What else should we know about this particular situation that they are experiencing this month? So we have transits. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else. We have the moon, more emotions coming up like the King of Cups. One more. And Pisces, lots of watery energy. It's so interesting that this perception came up because that's kind of what we were talking about with this King of Cups and this whole idea about how are you perceiving the situation? How are you perceiving the Grimm? Like, are you seeing the Grimm as an opportunity for a change, a rebirth in your life? Or are you seeing the Grimm as like literally the worst thing ever, like they do in the book? Okay. So I do think that there is a message here for some of you guys with the moon card coming up to really kind of tap into what it is that you're actually feeling, because the way that you are perceiving this situation is impacting how you are feeling about it emotionally. Okay. And so sometimes having that perception shift or that mindset shift even can help you to feel a lot better about things. So that might be just for some, something for self-reflection for some of you. But with transits coming up here, I feel like this is a temporary hardship or a temporary burden that you guys are experiencing. I really don't feel like this is something that is permanent. It's just something that is happening around you, and you are just navigating the situation the best way that you know how. I do think that there is challenging energy around this. I don't think that you guys are like misguided in feeling the way that you feel about it. You may feel like you don't really have a lot of control over it right now, and it's just kind of something that you're going through. I do think that it's something that's going to help to strengthen you and teach you lessons ultimately as the situation moves forward. maybe particularly lessons about how to, be more strategic and not feel like you have to take on so much, may help to strengthen your mental agility around things as well. But yeah, transit is kind of like just when, it's like when we have like, the planets in the solar system are transiting different houses in our chart, right? Like there might just be a temporary situation that you guys are experiencing this month that's having you feel a little emotionally out of whack or feeling overworked or overburdened here. But I do think with the moon, it's all about like the way that you choose to look at it, okay? It's all about the way that you choose to kind of feel through it and show up. And you guys also have Pisces here, so lots of emotional energy with the moon and with Pisces and with the King of Cups here. Pisces energy is an energy of, it's interesting that it says sensitized too. Like, I wonder if you guys are getting sensitized to something this month in a way. Like, maybe this is your first time being exposed to something like this. It's your first time, like, feeling this feeling or being in a situation like this for some of you. And so because of that, you might feel a little bit more sensitive to it than you normally would if you had experienced it like more. You know what I mean? You know how like certain people get desensitized? Like you hear all the time about like people who work as like, I don't know, like firefighters or EMTs. Like they ultimately a lot of times get desensitized to things that like us normal like people that are civilians that don't do that work would totally not be desensitized to. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the energy I'm getting where it's like you guys are maybe being exposed to something and it's popping up a lot of emotion for you because it's new and it's something that you haven't really dealt with before. I also think too, because you guys have a lot of emotion energy here with Pisces, especially Pisces is a mutable water sign. So that's kind of like messy. You know what I mean? It's uncontained emotion in a sense. And, I wonder if you guys are just really wanting some sort of boundary or structure or needing some sort of structure or framework to kind of help you to feel more, in control or feel more contained in a sense. I don't know. Let's see. What else does pile 3 need to know about this month ahead? Okay, this one flipped over. We have the man holding a heart. Okay. You have support available to you. Let's see though. We also have envy. Ooh, that's interesting. With attachment here at the bottom. Yeah, I feel like you guys are like maybe reminiscing about the past or like attached to something, attached to a certain way of doing things maybe for some of you. It's interesting too that like the grim meaning like death, which can be like death and rebirth. I do feel that there's a need to release the past this month. I feel like detaching from something from the past is actually going to help you to adapt into where you are a little bit better. I also think too, there's like this energy of like the grass is greener somewhere else, or feeling like you're missing out a little bit with envy coming up here. It's like she's looking outside and just like looking at all this golden opportunity, right? And it's like she's here in this like very gray energy. It's like envy. It's like wishing that she had what was outside and not necessarily feeling grateful for where she's at. I don't know if it's that you guys aren't feeling grateful, but I think that if you're going through a tough time this month, it's easy to kind of look at other people's situations and think that it looks so much better than yours. The truth of the matter is, though, is that if you guys want these golden opportunities, you have the power to get them. And I wonder if that's kind of where some of this exploration, this kind of strategy energy is coming from of like, moving in silence toward the things that you want in your life that you feel like you're not getting out of this situation. But the man holding a heart and the King of Cups, I think both are indicating that there is a need for you guys to really get in touch with your emotions this month. Really work on being your own emotional support system. Really asking yourselves how you feel about these situations that you're in, the circumstances that you're under. But I also think for some of you, like I was saying, the man holding a heart can indicate that there is someone there in your corner to support you, like someone who is loving and kind and compassionate, someone who can, you know, be that emotional support system for you if you need it. Lots of heart energy here, though, with Pisces and the moon and the King of Cups and the man holding a heart. Like, it definitely seems like you guys are in the feels this month around something. So, okay, I want to see here. We're going to close this out with just a few more of these little cards for you, Pile 3. What else does Pile 3 need to know about their month ahead, please? We have asked them directly. So communication is needed. And I feel like this is meant to be heartfelt communication. And I feel like whatever you guys need to ask about may actually help you to relieve some of the burden that you're feeling here. The Seven of Swords sometimes has a tendency to, well, not sometimes, usually always has the tendency of being avoidant. Like, this is the energy of not wanting to communicate, kind of avoiding dealing with our emotions. So if you're finding yourselves avoiding direct communication this month with someone who could help you to relieve some of your burdens, you want to avoid that, okay? Like, you want to ask directly for what it is that you need. Let's see what else for Pile 3. Ooh, we have divine connection. Yeah, there's definitely like a connection here this month. Someone significant that's been brought into your life for a specific reason. I do think with transits here, there's some sort of lesson involved with this person for you. Let's see. We also have Oblivion. That's kind of like what I was getting with Pisces. It's like this energy of just being all over the place in a way. We have Proceed with Caution at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, like when I think of Into Oblivion, I just like think of, you know, like into nothing or into everything, or like, I don't know, like there's just kind of a lot of, it's like this energy of sort of disappearing into something. Same with Pisces. Like, I think of Pisces as just like really escaping into something. And if you're not careful, you can kind of lose your grounding a little bit. But I feel like I want to pull one more for you guys. I don't know why that Oblivion is kind of throwing me off. Comment below what you think it means for you. One more for Pile 3 for January. Family stuff. Okay, this could be related to your family. Very interesting. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, very interesting energy for your month ahead. I would love to hear from you in the comments what you've been experiencing up until this point, and maybe what some of your plans are for January and how you feel like some of this connects to those plans. So please drop me a comment down below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload the next video. And I do look forward to seeing you then. Bye.